It was a cold night here in Ohio, and my best friend and I were watching TV. I turned on the regular show recording I took the night before, and we watched it. It started with the usual theme and credits. When the title card came up, it read, Never, Never, which I found odd because the info bar said it was Death Munchies. Not only that, but I had seen every episode of Regular Show, and I was positive Never Never was not a real episode. But instead of being creeped out, I was ecstatic because we thought it was a new episode and that the info bar was just suffering a glitch, again like it does every now and then. We excitedly sat down to watch it. It starts off with Mordecai and Rigby in the woods, just walking around. It was raining, and after a few minutes of this, Rigby randomly points at a large rock and says to Mordecai, I bet you can't climb that. Mordecai argues, course I can, followed by their classic humphs. Mordecai attempts to climb it, but then slips and falls back on his butt. Rigby shines a flashlight in his eyes, asking, Mordecai, are you okay? He shouts. You're fucking with my eyes, dude. Rigby turns it away and held him up. As the show is a bit saucy at times, this was a little foul and got me wondering. The episode proceeded. All of a sudden, someone who seemingly was hiding in the bushes just jumps out, revealing a pistol and starts randomly firing. She looks as if she was in her 20s. Rigby, out of self-defense, starts a brawl with her. She manages to shoot him in the leg while they struggle. Mordecai gets up and tackles her as Rigby goes down. He starts maliciously smashing her head into the ground. I could very clearly see animosity and hatred in his actions instead of normal cartoon brawling. He's screaming, Nobody fucking shoots my best friend! She then starts kicking him and lands a harsh kick to the testicles. I was mortified. This episode puzzled me with such content. I just couldn't believe the swearing and violence. But despite my body's mind and protests, I could not stop watching it. And neither could my friend. We looked at each other again, then returned our gazes to the TV. The mysterious woman and Mordecai are still rolling around and fighting. Eventually, Mordecai manages to knock the handgun out of her hand, making it skitter across the ground towards Rigby, who grabs her gun without hesitation and aims at the pair. The two instantly stop as they notice him holding it out, handshaking, and so they stop, putting their hands up. Rigby exclaims to the woman, I'll shoot you! I'll shoot you if you don't leave! I swear to God I will shoot! She starts laughing maniacally, as though unafraid, and Rigby tries to steady his hands, shuts his eyes, and turns his head away, then fires. All you heard was the rain hitting the trees. Mordecai wasn't moving. Rigby pulls Mordecai off the woman and begins to shake him. Dude, come on, stop faking, he said desperately as the woman ran off. He pleaded with him, but after a while, it turns out Mordecai wasn't. Rigby, with tears in his eyes, falls to the ground and cries over his friend's dead body, and then it fades to black. I was in shock and disbelief. Screw my curiosity, it got the best of me. I had to continue. The episode started again with Rigby at some sort of club, dancing with someone, seemingly a year or two after the event. He finishes his story and they both laugh. The girl says, that's nothing. A couple of years ago, I was in the woods and there was these two guys. They were a blue jay and a raccoon. I was an assassin and I was just doing what I had to do. Rigby stops dancing and quivers. It was you, he asks, figuring it out. She says something. I'm a changed woman now, Rigby. I don't like killing anymore. Rigby ignores her, shoving her away, and jumps on top of a table. He screams at the top of his lungs, You evil bitch! I'll kill you! Grabbing an overhead pipe, he tackles her and hits her in the head with it. She gets visibly injured. Before he can finish the job, he is grabbed by two burly guards and restrained. But he fights them and tries to beat them off with a pipe. She murdered him! Kill her! The scene fades out as Rigby is dragged away and the paramedics rush the woman to a hospital. 10 years later reads a time card. As it fades back in, Rigby is at home and his little raccoon children are running around and playing. He's holding a picture of Mordecai and him while sitting at a table. His son grabs a stool and sits near him. Who's that, Daddy? Rigby grabs his son and a baby cradle. That was my best friend Mordecai, he says a bit solemnly. What happened to him, Daddy? His son asks. Rigby stops and thinks for a moment. He passed away. If he was alive, he would have loved you like an uncle, he tells his son. Then there is a sudden knock at the front door, and his son jumps up and answers it. A boy who looks like Mordecai is outside, and his son goes outside and plays with him. Rigby looks outside the window to look at them and says, Well, Mordecai, it looks like you sent one down. Huh, he chuckled. I'll miss you, best friend. I'll miss you. And with that, it just faded away to the kids playing in the front yard. The episode ended. I was told later that someone had hacked the broadcasting system and played a fan episode. Whether or not I can believe that, I have no clue to this day.